You know, the world is such a beautiful, authentic place, said no one who's been on the internet in the past decade. We live in a time where authenticity has been filtered, color graded, captioned, and packaged into an algorithm-approved format. I mean, even I had to design a click-worthy thumbnail for this video, because God forbid you just find it without me screaming in neon text,
You are living a lie!
"Enter Truman Burbank." Wakes up, brushes his teeth, waves at the neighbors, all so wholesome. Except every single moment is scripted, blocked, and approved by a production team. But here's the twist. How different is that from your morning? The way you fix your hair because someone might see you on a Zoom call? The casual just woke up Instagram story you took after 15 retakes? The performative good morning to the coworker you don't even like? The question is, are we Truman or are we both Truman and the producers of our own show? Because let's be honest, we are the stars and the marketing department. We've all built our own Seahaven, not with movie sets, but with social media profiles, curated home decor, personality brands, the perfect illusion of who we want to be. Truman had innocence. He didn't know his life was fake. We know. And we are still doing it. We are active co-authors in our own performance, while pretending we are being real. And then there's Christoph, Truman's all-powerful director. In our lives, Christoph isn't one man. He's all of them. The societal expectations, the family scripts, the cultural programming, the unspoken rules you obey because that's just how things are done. Plato's Cave? Welcome to Plato's TikTok, where you don't even want to leave the cave because the shadows are perfectly choreographed, come with a lo-fi soundtrack, and get a million likes. Baudrad Simulacra? We're way past the copy becoming more real than the original. The copy now has sponsorship deals. And Sartre's bad faith? We've traded being authors of our lives for being influencers in them. Social media is Seahaven 2.0. Everyone's watching, everyone's performing. We've internalized the camera's gaze so much that we act as if someone's always filming us, because maybe they are. It's exhausting. But unlike Truman, we don't get the bliss of ignorance. We know this isn't the real, and yet we keep hitting post. Unlike Truman, we know we are being watched. So why do we keep performing? What exactly are we so afraid of showing? Keep your eyes peeled, because we are about to wander deeper into Seahaven, the wonderland of illusion. There's nothing like the moment the set literally falls apart to remind you that life might not be what it seems. In The Truman Show, it's a studio light labeled "Serious" crashing from the sky. In real life, it might be your Wi-Fi going out during a Zoom meeting, revealing that you have no idea what to say without Google feeding you the answers. Authenticity doesn't stroll politely into our lives, it gate crashes. These are the moments when our perfectly curated, Instagram-filtered reality malfunctions and something raw and unscripted slips through, and it's terrifying. Because, sure, you say you want authenticity, until your carefully controlled image trips over its own shoelaces.
Hello. What do I do?
It's in these cracks that we glimpse the real beyond our constructed world. It's liberating, but also a little horrifying, like catching your reflection in a shop window mid-ugly sneeze. Carl Jung would call these cracks the emergence of the shadow, all the messy, inconvenient parts of ourselves that don't match our public performance. The parts you pretend don't exist until they show up at your cousin's wedding after 3 glasses of wine. This is where cognitive dissonance kicks in. That mental whiplash when your inner experience says, this is nonsense, but your mouth keeps saying, I'm fine. Sometimes these cracks lead to a nervous breakdown, sometimes a breakthrough. The difference? Mostly how Instagrammable it is. Everyone around you is playing the same game, authentic yet performing. Your coworker says they love the company vision while silently Googling jobs that let you work from a beach. In The Truman Show, Meryl breaks character in a panic, blurting, do something, say something.
There's so many choices!
Do something!
Talk to me!
I don't know anything!
That's what happens when the performance falters. People don't know how to be real without the script. And here's the ethical kicker. Asking someone to be real with you often means asking them to risk dismantling the world they've built to survive. Not everyone's ready for that. The pandemic was basically humanity's falling light moment, the collective curtain drop where normal performance became impossible. Business meetings happened in pajamas, celebrities posted unfiltered selfies, and we all agreed that was a mistake. Mental health crises are personal versions of this, moments when our inner chaos leaks into the outer world, shattering the polished facade. And now, we have authentic content creators who've turned vulnerability into a brand, which is adorable until you realize that authenticity itself has become another performance. Your brain is a relentless pattern recognition machine. That's why near-real experiences, like CGI faces or scripted reality TV, feel off. It's the uncanny valley. Almost real is creepier than fake. Mirror neurons light up when we see real emotions, but they don't buy into bad acting. And moments of raw authenticity, the unscripted, awkward, too honest kind, actually disrupt the brain's default mode network.
Golly, maybe a little too honest sometimes.
Translation? Authentic moments literally shake us out of autopilot. The glitches aren't bugs. They are the point. They are little cracks in the set reminding you that the script isn't all there is. The question is, will you keep pretending it's part of the show or step off the soundstage? Sylvia isn't just a love interest, she's the anomaly in the code. She sees through Truman's carefully curated life, not because she's cynical, but because she's actually paying attention. She loves what she finds underneath the script, and that's dangerous.
Listen to me. Everybody knows about it. Everybody knows everything you do. They're pretending, Truman. Do you understand? Everybody's pretending.
I don't know.
No. My name's not Lauren. It's Sylvia. My name's Sylvia. Yeah.
In a world built on performance, genuine intimacy is revolutionary. It destabilizes the set. It gives you a reason to want something more than comfort and predictability. But there's risk here, risk that's bigger than personal heartbreak. Because if you reveal your real self to someone who isn't bound by the show's rules, you've given them the power to change everything. And they might not stay, they might not want to. Authentic love threatens the entire architecture of an inauthentic life. Kristoff's feelings for Truman are real, or at least he believes they are. He raised him, protected him, kept him safe from what he saw as a crueler world. But the care is fused with control, and the love is inseparable from manipulation. It's the same tension you see when a family member says, "But you've changed," as though authenticity is betrayal.
You've changed, man. You've changed.
The subtext, "I loved you when you were who I needed you to be." Being authentic doesn't just liberate you, it disrupts the ecosystem of expectations that others have built around you. Sometimes people aren't defending the truth, they're defending stability. Some couples build a performance together, what we might call codependent authenticity. They market their realness like a brand, turning vulnerability into content. But being seen isn't the same as being watched. True intimacy isn't about broadcasting your inner world. It's about finding someone who can handle it without needing to package it for others. Maintaining authentic relationships in a performing world means resisting the temptation to slip back into roles, even when roles feel safer. Dating often begins as theater, curated profiles, strategic texting, Instagram highlight reels. The job interview is another performance, with authenticity carefully rationed. Even parenting becomes a public act, filtered through social expectations about what good parents look like. The question isn't just how do we be authentic in these spaces, it's do these spaces even allow it?
I feel like I'm constantly trying to fit in.
Who in your life would help you walk out of your personal Seahaven? Who would say, go, find out what's real instead of stay, don't rock the boat? The truth is, authenticity can be lonely. The people who most loved your performance may vanish when you stop giving it. That's why building relationships that can hold your entire complexity is not a luxury, it's survival. How do we love and be loved authentically when we're not even sure what's real about ourselves? Truman's little sailboat isn't just a quaint escape vehicle, it's basically the world's most dramatic metaphor for what happens when you decide to stop living the life everyone else planned for you. You want to be authentic? Cute. Prepare for a storm. Kristoff, our friendly neighborhood puppet master, doesn't just throw a few clouds his way, he tries to kill him with the weather. Why? Because letting Truman go would mean admitting the whole charade was pointless.
Is that the best you can do? You're gonna have to kill me!
And that's the thing about stepping into authenticity, something has to die. Usually, it's the fake version of you that everyone was comfortable with. Unfortunately, you might also feel like you are drowning in the process.
I'm drowning! Oh no, I'm drowning!
But hey, character development, right? Here's the uncomfortable truth. When we resist living authentically, it's rarely because we don't know what we want. We know we are just afraid of the cost. Authenticity isn't some cheap motivational poster. It can actually cost you money, status, comfort, and yes, sometimes your weekend brunch friends. The scariest part, you are not just facing the storm outside, you are facing the quiet realization that your old life was built on your willingness to play a role you no longer believe in. And once you stop playing, some people leave the theater. When Truman's boat hits the dome, it's hilariously anticlimactic. The world ends in a painted wall. This is the moment you realize the limits of your personal Seahaven, the fake ceilings, the invisible scripts, the polite rules that keep you inside your assigned box. From a systems perspective, your life isn't isolated, it's woven into bigger societal games. If you leave your personal cage, you might notice the bigger one we are all in. And here's the real decision. Do you want comfortable lies or difficult truths? Spoiler, most people pick the lies. They are easier to decorate. Identifying your Seahaven boundaries is needful. Where are you complying because things seem just easier? You've got to adapt without soul-killing performance. Compromise is fine until you start forgetting who you are. Your navigation has to be value-based. When the storm hits, your values are your compass because if you don't know them, you'll get lost and probably end up in someone else's boat.
Is this your boat?
The journey to authenticity has to be gradual since this entails small course corrections and fewer storms. When it's time to go, rip the sail and go full speed while preparing for the lightning ahead. In terms of relationships, change the terms of engagement gently, unless you enjoy emotional shipwrecks.
I can't believe he dumped me.
Building new support systems also comes in handy because you'll need people who like the real you, not your public relations version. Here's the kicker. The people who love you most might fight your authenticity the hardest, not because they hate you, but because it threatens their own role in the script. Your change forces them to notice their own performance, and that's uncomfortable. Learn to handle their discomfort without apologizing for growing. And remember, authenticity isn't a license to bulldoze people, it's about responsible self-expression. Don't be the truth teller who just enjoys smashing other people's set designs.
I don't care what you think. I don't care about repercussions.
The boat journey reminds us that authentic living isn't about arriving. It's about having the guts to keep sailing toward horizons you can't see yet, rather than staying in the pretty little harbor that's slowly killing you.
Truman. You can speak.
Who are you?
I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions.
Then who am I?
You're the star. Say something.
Well, say something, goddammit. You're on television. You're live to the whole world.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Truman walks through the exit, cue triumphant music, existential dread, and the crushing realization that freedom doesn't come with a manual. Suddenly, there's no director telling you where to stand, no cue cards for your lines, and no charming best friend showing up with a six-pack at just the right moment. The world is wide open, which is exhilarating, until you realize wide open also means no safety rails. It's why some people, faced with infinite possibility, quietly slip back into Seahaven-like setups. Better the scripted hell you know than the unscripted chaos you don't. Welcome to your brand new life. Here's a never-ending buffet of choices. Sounds great until decision fatigue sets in and you long for the days when the costume department picked your outfit and your life path. Relationships become complicated because without predetermined roles, you actually have to negotiate reality with another human. Career choices? No more chasing status because that's what people do. Now you have to figure out what you actually want. And, spoiler, that's a harder question than it sounds. The film never tells us what happened to Truman's audience. Did they cry? Did they storm their own domes? Or did they just switch channels and watch another reality show about a different guy who doesn't know he's being filmed?
You want another slice?
No, I'm okay.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's see what else.
Where's the TV guy?
That's the gamble of authenticity. Some people get inspired, others just keep scrolling. But every now and then, watching someone else walk through their metaphorical door plants a seed in us. A dangerous, inconvenient seed that whispers, what if you could too? Trust your internal compass? That gut feeling is your new GPS? Unfortunately, it comes with no recalculating voice when you mess up. Build tolerance for mess. Authentic life isn't color-coordinated or Instagram-friendly. Embrace the smudge. Create supportive structures, not cages, just scaffolding. Things that help you grow without locking you in. Here's the twist. You can even turn authenticity into a performance. Ever met someone who's raw and real in exactly the same way every time? Yeah, that's a script too. Authenticity demands constant self-check-ins. Am I expressing myself or performing expressive me for an audience? If you are always camera ready, maybe the show's not really over. Morning check-in. What wants to emerge from me today? Decision-making without the script? What would I choose if no one were watching? Relationship maintenance? How can I show up fully while respecting the fact others are still in their own domes? When one person steps out of performance, it creates ripples, not the fake B-roll ocean kind, but real ones. Whole communities can begin to form where people are free to be more than their curated roles. Living genuinely becomes more than a personal act. It's social maintenance. In a world that thrives on fakery, authenticity is borderline revolutionary.
I gotta stop pretending to be something I'm not.
There are 3 gifts that The Truman Show leaves us with. 1. Awareness. The courage to notice the script you've been following. 2. The recognition that the door has been there all along. And 3. Curiosity. The willingness to find out who you are when no one's yelling action. Truman's final bow isn't the end, it's the first scene of his unscripted life. Authentic living isn't a one-time breakthrough. It's waking up each morning and saying good morning to the day as yourself, the messy, unpolished, wonderfully unpredictable you. The show doesn't really end, but now you are the director. That's exactly why I started this channel after years on the sidelines, my own boat to the edge moment. Hitting record on this video wasn't just about sharing ideas, it was a way of walking through my own door and inviting you to do the same. Take one boat to the edge action this week, big or small. Share your authenticity breakthroughs in the comments so we can cheer each other on. And if you are ready for more tools and resources, check the links in the description because your show is waiting for its rewrite.